No other leader in Canada did. Yeah, of course, the people who can deal with the tariffs are going to be like, Team Canada, we're standing up. Yeah! We can't deal with the tariff. Canadians cannot deal with the tariff. We don't have an economy to deal with that kind of issue. We don't. Heyo, and welcome to today, where something quite interesting happened yesterday while Trump was marking things off. Canada is sort of saved for the time being, because the 25% tariff has been moved. It is not happening day of. Thank goodness. Watch the clip right now of this happening.
We're thinking in terms of 25% on Mexico and Canada because they're allowing vast numbers of people. Canada's a very bad abuser also. Vast numbers of people to come in and fentanyl to come in.
When do you think you would enact those?
I think February 1st.
Are you planning on giving notice of that?
I think we'll do it February 1st.
25% on both, sir.
On each.
I think the next question, from watching this video, just in a nutshell, I think the question is, why the February 1st? I guess potentially we shall find out what'll happen with that, but why February 1st? Maybe just because, I don't know. Anywho, from the 20th, 12 days later, which will be the February 1st. So we have 12 days. We have 12 days of not having a 25% tariff right now. Now maybe the question is, now what do you think made him not tariff Canada and Mexico on day of? What made him not do that? And why is it not on day of? Well, there are some suspicions, one that I particularly agree with as to why it has happened, and that is Danielle Smith. Because for Canada specifically, I don't know about Mexico, but specifically Canada, it turns out that the only person to go and speak for Canada's trade, is Danielle Smith, the only premier who put their province above all other provinces. Danielle Smith, the leader, or the premier of Alberta. She is the only premier who went down and had a conversation with Trump. And you could say, oh well, Trudeau also went down there. Yeah, but he looked quite foolish going down there. He did not look good when he went down there. However, Danielle Smith, when she went up there, there's a lot that happened there. There's a lot of conversation that happened there, and currently we are facing 12 days of not being tariffed. It did not happen immediately, so clearly something went on there as to why it is not happening immediately. And to which I have to say thank you, Danielle Smith, for prolonging the period of breathing here in Canada. The point is she's the only premier who went out and did this. Every other premier said Team Canada and risked Canadians' economy just plummeting to the ground just to say Team Canada rather than trying to actually fix the problem. That is, once again, to secure the border. Rather than do that, aren't that most of the premiers and prime minister is trying to dig in their heels somehow, rather than just secure the border, literally all that he is asking for. Rather than doing that, they're digging their heels in. But Danielle Smith actually broke through and had a conversation with Trump about the trade, about the diplomacy between Canada and America. Congratulations, we have actual trade diplomacy happening here. Diplomacy, something we dearly need right now because Canada cannot deal with a tariff v. tariff on America versus Canada, because Canada over time will run out. Canada doesn't have the economy to deal with that. We don't have the infrastructure to make an economy to deal with that. We don't have anything to deal with a trade for trade tariff deal. We don't have the economy to deal with that. And what do the leaders do? They're putting Canadians to deal with the brunt of that problem, because you think Trudeau is going to have an issue with the 25% tariff? No, he's not. Canadians will. Technically, you could say that Trudeau is a Canadian, but I don't really care to name him that. And also, neither do I don't care to call any of the other premiers, aside from Danielle Smith, Canadian, because they're not putting Canadians first. They're putting their own self-interest of disliking Trump above anything. All he asked was secure the border. That's all he asked. That is all he asked. Oh, well, it's not that much fent that is crossing the border. Okay, what about it? What about it? Are you really going to be pissing in a pot because of the amount? I'm sorry, Canada cannot deal with a 25% tariff. We can't. We just can't. I don't care how meager the amount is that he is wanting us to fix. Canada straight up cannot deal with the 25% tariff. We just can't. But no, the premiers can because they have the money. Canadians cannot deal with the 25% tariff. We don't have the economy. We don't have the infrastructure. We don't have the trade. We don't have anything to deal with that. We don't have anything to deal with that. So I thank Danielle Smith for the tariff being postponed for the February 1st. I thank Danielle Smith for that, because that gives us time to fix the border, secure the border. That gives us time to do that. Hopefully the leaders in Canada will do that. But at least we have more time. It's better than nothing. It is better than nothing, because once again, Canada cannot deal with the tariff. I don't care how meager the amount is that Trump wanted us to secure the border. I don't care about the meagerness about it, because let's say he said it was 1 gram of fent that crossed the border, and he said, well, the border's not secure, so we're gonna tariff Canada 25%. Let's say that was true. Canada can't deal with that tariff. It really doesn't matter how small that amount is. It doesn't really matter. I'm sick and tired of this whole entire thing of thinking that your opinion matters on things. Oh, it's such a small amount. Okay, and do you think Canada can still deal with the tariffs no matter how small the amount is that he's tariffing Canada for? We can't. Simplistically put, we can't deal with that tariff. We cannot deal with that tariff. We just can't. And so, once again, thank you, Danielle Smith, for going down there and talking diplomacy. Something that no other leader in Canada did. Rather, they all got their buttons in a bunch and they said, Team Canada, even though they're the people who can deal with the 25% tariff. Yeah, of course, the people who can deal with the tariffs are going to be like, Team Canada, we're standing up. Yeah! We can't deal with the tariff. Canadians cannot deal with the tariff. We don't have an economy to deal with that kind of issue. We don't. We don't. And now, just to close this all off, I'm going to share just another video of somebody talking to the people who say that Danielle Smith is dividing Canada by not standing with the rest of the premiers who want to tariff America the same, rather than doing that. They're talking about how she is dividing Canada. She's a traitor. This clip is for those types of people. And of course, it comes from an Albertan.
Danielle Smith is dividing Canadians. This video goes out to all of you. Where were you guys when everybody was against Alberta's energy and now you're calling for unity? Where were you guys when everybody said Alberta doesn't pay for the rest of Canada, except it's clear as day? Where were you guys? Oh, you were whining, complaining about Alberta, but Many of the people in your province was flying in and flying out and bringing that money back to their economies. Yeah. Well, today, Danielle Smith got done. Donald Trump is not imposing tariffs right away. He's looking at the trade deficits. He's going to do his research. He's got a whole committee on it. And I could say it's because of Danielle Smith going to meet with him. Danielle Smith just saved Canada from tariffs, immediate tariffs. And you guys won't say anything about it. This is the thing. Nobody's ever stood with Alberta. And I know a lot of you have. But it's time that people start taking Alberta seriously. We get pipelines coast to coast to coast. Enough with special interest groups. They can get. If this doesn't prove anything to you that we should be taking our energy seriously, then I don't know anything else that will. Follow the channel for more.
And so I bring up the economy point once again. Even if we were to try and do this, one of the main exports one of the main things that Canada brings in for revenue is the selling of oil. That is a massive form of economic growth in Canada. But what has Canada done? We stopped the pipeline on east and west. We can't sell past east and west. The only direction we can sell our oil is south. Because of those special interest groups that he brings up stopping the pipeline. So we don't have the economy to deal with that. We don't have the economy to deal with that. We just straight up don't. And so I tell you, right about now would be a great time to live in Alberta, because you have an actual premier who stands up for your interests. And another thing is, I would like to live in Alberta right now because I would rather be safe than sorry. I'm just gonna put it out there. I would rather be safe than sorry, because when Trump was threatening tariffs, the only premier who went out and formed trade diplomacy was Alberta. Every other province, every other premier went against and did not try to form diplomacy. Every other premier did not try to form diplomacy. So I tell you, it would be very nice to live in Alberta right now. It would be kind of neat to do that, but I don't. I guess I'll see. Guess I will see what happens, but it would be a grand. It would be a grand thing to live in Alberta with these things going on right now. So once again, thank you, Danielle Smith, for helping in postponing the tariff threat that is happening. Let us see if the leaders get their act in gear and secure the border. I kind of doubt that will happen, but let's see if that happens. Let's see if they put Canada first, if they ever do that, you know? So, yeah, I think that is just about where I'm going to end off this video today. Just gonna be ending off saying thank you to Danielle Smith, because once again, doesn't matter how small the amount is, Canada cannot deal with it. Cannot. There's no furthering in that term. We cannot deal with that tariff issue. We just can't. We don't have the economy for that to deal with that. We don't. We simply don't. So I hope to see you guys in the next video. But until then, I hope that you have a good one.